Hello friends, so how are you? Very fine? Okay, so today we are going to discuss about Vedantic notion of self. So this term Vedanta might be, to you it would not be very familiar term. Vedanta is actually a philosophical system of India. In the trajectory of historical growth of philosophical systems, it comes after Veda. There are different philosophical systems. Okay, for example, there is Sankhya, there is Yoga, there is Nyaya, there is Mimamsa, there is Vedanta. So Vedanta is one of the very prominent philosophical system. So it says that whatever self that we experience or we perceive, that is actually false self. Whatever we assume about our own self, that we are this, actually that is based on a lot of falsehood. Okay. So the essence of Vedantic learning about self is that in order to experience, in order to realize, in order to actualize, in order to have a direct perception of that particular self, you will have to go beyond the identification that we have with this body. Okay, so actually in our common parlance, what we do, we assume ourselves to be a body. For example, if you ask me who am I, then I will introduce myself in terms of, according to whatever common parlance or usual term in which we often talk about self. So in that, what we do, whatever self-perception that we have, whatever our belief that we have, all that is connected with our body. For example, I will try to tell about myself in terms of this body. I will identify with whatever facial features that I have, whatever body that I have. Okay, so all the perception, all the belief, there is limited attached with the body. And Vedanta says that this kind of identification with the body is actually a kind of illusion. There is a very interesting term for that. Maya. Maya maha thagini ham jani. You would have listened. That is one of the very famous song. Okay. So Vedanta says that we will have to transcend our body through our experience. Transcending body does not mean that we are going to leave this body. Transcending here means that we are going deeper and deeper. We are one by one unpacking whatever seeds of illusion that we have about our own self. For example, if you ask me who am I, and as an ordinary person, if I respond, then what way I will tell you? I will tell you about my name, about my degrees, about my family, about my habits or hobbies, about my likings, dislikings, about my roles, relationships. Vedanta says all that is attached and linked with your body. All that is our upadhi. Upadhi means what? All those are not actually the part of self. All those are not actually part of the self. they are merely some kind of role of self. The self is playing in a particular role. The self is not that. And we will have to go beyond that. We will have to explore beyond that. Only then we will be capable to know the real self, the actual self. The term which is used for that, Atma. So Vedanta says Atma is not in multiplicity. Atma is in singularity. The same Atma, the same self which is in myself, that is also in this wall. That is also in whatever equipments that we are having, this watch also. And whomever, whomever they can be of different religions, the person of different religion, the animals, different kinds of beings, all of them have one self. That is one of the very important feature of Vedantic notion of self, sameness of self. There are not multiple selves, there is only one self. And we are merely reflection of that, whatever we are experiencing. We are not there in actuality. Whatever we are assuming, whatever we are conceiving, all that is full of falsehood. So now you would be getting somehow confused what it means by Vedantic self. Vedantic self is actually not whatever that we talk in Western notion of self. In what way we organize or identify ourselves. Vedantic self says that whenever you will identify, whenever you will experience yourself, then you will be well absorbed in yourself. You will not discriminate in between human beings, in between creatures. You will have love. You will have affection for all the different forms of being. So how can we realize this kind of self? Vedanta says that there are three important processes. What are those? The first one is that we will have to reason. Reason for what? We will have to identify what is truth, what is eternal, and what is not eternal. So what is that which is or which will be forever? So we will have to explore, we will have to seek that permanent kind of experience. So it says that we will have to start from whatever sensory objects, whatever sensory experience that we have. Whatever relationships that we have. We will have to reflect on them. Whether they are actual source of pleasure or we are conceiving them, we are putting some kind of tags, we are identifying them, and the actual source of happiness is in our own self. So Vedanta says that first of all we will have to reason. Then second one is contemplation and meditation. We will have to think about that again and again. And then there comes the stage in which someone gets self-absorbed. Some of you would have listened certain lectures of Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudeva, and there are some others, Shriyam Eckhart, you would have listened. About Muzi, you would have listened. About certain other such spiritual seekers or spiritual self-realized persons, if you would have listened, then you can have a lot of understanding about Vedantic notion of self. So it says that there are certain important virtues. If you want to tread on the path of discovery of your true self, true joy, ultimate happiness, bliss, divinity, then for that you should have certain particular primary qualities, certain primary virtues. Only then you would be able to experience real self. What are those? First one is Shama, Dhamma, Uparati. I will talk about these terms in English. I will explain one by one. Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, and then there comes Mumuksha. What it means by Sham? Sham means, it says that we will have to practice to maintain equipoise in everyday life. If we can maintain tranquility, mental tranquility, then it means that you have one particular virtue, one particular quality which is required for self-realization. Then second comes self-control. Whenever we have some kind of sensory, you can say different kinds of sensory cravings that we have to eat or to drink, and different kind of sensory gratification activity. So, can you control your mind there? If yes, your mind does not get hijacked by whatever sensory attraction that you have, then there is another quality that you have for self-realization. Then there comes third one, and third one is Uparati. Uparati means self-absorption, or you can say inner directedness. Whenever someone comes into the touch of, constantly someone remains in the touch of his experience. If someone is always capable to be mindful of what is happening there in his or herself, then the third very important quality, it means that is in that particular person. And then after that there comes forbearance. In our everyday life, often we have up and downs. Sometimes we feel sadness, sometimes we feel some kind of pleasure, sometimes we have some profits, sometimes we have some losses, sometimes some kind of behavior by someone is disgracing for us, and sometimes we get a lot of honor. So whether can you contain, can you remain, can you maintain your mental stability on such different kind of dualistic conditions? If yes, then there is another quality in any such person. And then there comes faith. How much faith that you have on your own self, that there is ultimate self. And then there comes complete absorption. And then there comes a deep, great longing to be free from whatever different kinds of attractions, different kind of sadness, dependency, agonies that we have in our life. If you have deep longing, great longing, then you can walk on this path to attain this kind of experience of this kind of ultimate self, that is self-realization in terms of Vedantic. So friends, we talked about what it means by self according to Vedanta. According to Vedanta, the self is transcendental. The self, that actual self which is there, that self is beyond our roles, our relationship, our identifications, our hobbies, our likings, our dislikings, our strengths, our limitations. And then it says that if you want to attain, if you want to experience this kind of self, then for that you will have to start to reason. You will have to start to identify what is eternal and what is not eternal. For that also it is required that first of all we study different kind of texts, different kind of spiritual texts, Upanishads, or different other religious texts which are there, which are related to self-exploration, Atmagyan, you see. Okay? And then also we have to reflect on our own self. Okay? And then there comes whatever deep Vedantic truths or notions which are there, we will have to contemplate on them. Okay? And then you get absorbed in that. Okay? But in order to undertake this journey of self-realization, there is need for how many qualities? 6 qualities. What are those? The first one is Sham, mental tranquility. The second one is Dam, self-control. The third one is Uparati, self-absorption or inner directedness, mindfulness. And then there is Titiksha, forbearance. Okay? Then faith. Then self-surrender. And then ultimately Vedanta also says that for all this you should have some kind of deep longing to have realization of yourself in another world that is also called as enlightenment. Okay? So this was a long session for you. I think you would have got to understand something. Okay? Please listen this lecture again and again, 2-3 times, then you will understand whatever notions that I talked about. Okay? Thank you. Thank you so much.